She'll walk back with a big smile on her face. Okay, mate, we'll see you back here very shortly. The runners won't be long until they come into the yardways too.
The stakes are higher than usual at this year's Scone Cup. The crucial Upper Hunter state by-election here this weekend is kicking up underlying voter sentiment.
The main thing is, in this electorate, we've got to be able to cater for both coal mining and for rural and agricultural production.
For me personally, I think the environment's a major issue, especially this region here. It's either agriculture, horses or mining.
While some punters are yet to place a bet on a candidate for this weekend,
I haven't decided.
one Labor voting and campaigning racegoer's mind is occupied by uncertainties over her industry's future.
I'm a second-generation coal miner. I first started at the coal mine in 2011, so it's been 10 years this year. Look, I think the future is scary to some degree.
Some coal mines in the Upper Hunter are expanding or awaiting approval to do so. The Morrison government has announced a taxpayer-funded gas-fired replacement of nearby Liddell Power Station, a move at odds with the International Energy Agency's recent call for the immediate cessation of all new coal and gas projects to meet Paris targets. Is it misleading to say that there's a future in coal for people here in Muswellbrook and the Upper Hunter?
No, because I believe there is a strong future in coal mining in the Upper Hunter. As long as the world requires our coal, and at the moment the world is building new coal-fired power stations all the time, and that need for coal will continue.
Nationals candidate Dave Lazell aims to replace disgraced MP Michael Johnson, who won a 34% primary vote last election before resigning in March, accused of raping a sex worker, an allegation he denies.
I think the number one thing is that making sure that their jobs are safe and they can continue to work, pay off their mortgage and put food on the table for their families.
The Liberal National Coalition's Deputy Premier, John Barilaro, is announcing major local spending in an attempt to avoid governing in minority. The criticisms I've heard in this electorate are that, you're only seen when there is an election, something at stake, and that there's some $57 million worth of spending promises are essentially pork barrelling. What do you say to that?
This is Labor's typical line. They'll want to frame it that we haven't looked after this region. We have.
If you have, why have in the last 3 elections the Nationals' primary vote has been sliding?
Because there's more competition in the market. You've got the shooters, you've got One Nation, you've got more independents running.
And John Barilaro, is referred to, he's absolutely a blow-in. As I say, I've lived here all my life, I haven't left, and all of a sudden a by-election comes around and, he blows in, and I'm sure, by Sunday you probably won't see him again.
There are some who have tried to frame this state by-election as a kind of referendum on climate change in Australia's big coal-producing valley, where here in Muswellbrook, 20% of jobs remain in coal mining. But in reality, it is more nuanced than that. Disaffection at the industry is often expressed as local concerns over coal dust and poor mine remediation work, or the disparity of mining profits not staying in the valley to fund social services.
There's a lot of resentment within the community about the fact that we prop up most of the state and we're not getting our fair share.
Labor's Jeff Drayton calls himself a proud coal miner. Is it essentially misleading to say to locals that there is a future in coal mining?
No, not at all. The market will determine how long and how viable the coal industry is. But as I said earlier, it's not, it isn't good enough just to rely, just to say, we hope things are going to keep going. We need to start planning.
Both sides of politics have failed the Upper Hunter.
What's next is also being asked by independent candidate Kirsty O'Connell.
We're saying, let's take a pause. Let's let those existing mines run their approvals out But then let's have a plan for what comes next, because it's absolutely clear that the world is moving away from coal, and we need a plan for when it does.
You're advocating this kind of nuanced position, which is not quite anti-coal and not quite pro-coal. Will that nuance be lost on voters in this by-election?
I don't think it is as simple as that. I see myself as being pro-balance, pro-community.
Former Prime Minister Turnbull also recently lent Kirsty O'Connell his support.
The continued chaotic expansion of mining here, which is what John Barilaro apparently wants to do, is only going to put existing mining jobs at risk and at the same time rip up more and more of the valley.
Today, John Barilaro demanded Malcolm Turnbull resign from the Liberal Party.
I'm yet to meet someone in this community, in Muswellbrook or Singleton or even places like Scone, that actually agree with Malcolm. They may agree that mining will come to an end. They don't agree with his style, and that is to lecture from Sydney in the comfort of his own mansion out of Point Piper.
But with respect, you're also an outsider and have come
I'm
up for a
I'm not an outsider.
Not?
I live in the regions. I'm born and bred Queanbeyan.
You're not from here?
No, but hang on. I'm born.
Are you a Blowian?
No, I'm born and bred Queanbeyan. I'm regional. I'm the Minister for Regional New South Wales.
We have a track record now of the seats we have won.
With 3 members in the lower house, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party has had a growing influence across regional New South Wales. Whose vote are you taking away from?
That's a little bit hard to say, Andy. I think we're taking away from a couple of areas. I think there's the people that have perhaps voted Nationals for a very long time and are uncertain of the future. They feel a bit let down. They've seen a long period of neglect.
It's not just the jobs of people like myself that go to work every day in the actual coal mine. Although 20% of jobs are in mining itself, everything else revolves around that.
As much as the science says we need to urgently move beyond coal, voters in this Saturday's by-election in the Upper Hunter are focused on job certainty now. Few candidates here, with any chance of success, are willing to contradict a large section of the community whose livelihoods depend on coal.
For me, the most important issue, I spent 6 years as a casual miner and I'm lucky enough not to have a casual job anymore. Those times are really tough and people don't understand what that means. These well-paying mining jobs are where it's at for now, and yeah, we're more than open to transitioning, but again, transitioning to what?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.